Hello, everyone. I'm Raíssa, and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Softball Now. This Saturday morning, we have a partly cloudy sky, but the temperature, wow, 29 degrees Celsius, but it really feels like 36 degrees Celsius. We have winds at 6 kilometers per hour. Really, really nothing for Natal. So it's hot, even hotter in the morning this Saturday. And today, to talk about this Some Fantasy, please, we are going to talk about movies. You know that 2016 was a really tough year when we talk about the economy, when we talk about politics, if we talk about wars, etc. So it was a tough year for everyone. And the reflection of that is in the movies, because if we take the list of top 10 movies, when we talk about the money they collected in the theaters, the top 10 movies, among them, we have not one movie that is about reality. So everybody that went to the movies in 2016, most of them were looking for some fantasy. That's why we have this title today, Some Fantasy, please, because movies that showed reality, they were not the top 10 movies of the year. So I can tell you, for example, top 3 ticket sellers in North America were: one, Finding Dory, that collected $486.3 million. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which collected $440 million. And Captain America Civil War, which collected $408.1 million. So it's a lot of money. They collected 1.32 billion. Sorry, not the money. This is the number of tickets that were sold in Canada and USA during this year. So 1.32 billion tickets were sold this year, most of them for movies about fantasy. As we see, Finding Dory is an animated movie about a really cute fish that has short-term memory loss. And Rogue One is a science fiction story. And Captain America is a story about superheroes. It seems that all the population in the world, not only in North America, all the population, they want this fantasy to go on and on and on. So it was a very good movie for Walt Disney Studios, for example, because if we get the top 15 movies, 8 were made in these studios. Of course, when we say Walt Disney Studios, we include the Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. So it's and if we restrict the number of movies to the top 5, 4 were Walt Disney movies. So they made this year The Jungle Book, Moana, Zootopia, Doctor Strange. So it's kind of 25% of the market. They got $2.7 billion only in the USA. We can only imagine the rest of the world, in Brazil, for example. And so this strikes me like this, that people were really trying to find a escape in the movies this year because it was a hard year. So all these fantasy movies, they were the number one option to everyone because reality was hard enough. Here in Brazil, I don't have the numbers in Brazil, but I have the numbers of the month. I think it's December. I don't have really the numbers, but I have the number one. That is Minha Mãe é uma Peça 2. It's like My Mother is play number 2. This movie it's a comedy movie. It's about a comedian that decided to write about his mother. That is a piece of person, you really laugh at her stories. So number one was the original one was really successful, so he decided to have a sequel for this movie, and this movie is number one in Brazil. So that's just to confirm this reality that we have, that we don't want reality, we want some fantasy, because 2016 was a very hard movie. What else we have about the movies? We had this Meryl Streep speech that was really hard on Donald Trump. Of course, she didn't cite his name, but she was presenting him as a bully, not as a president, not as a candidate, but as a bully. And of course, this speech got a lot of reaction. We had lots of opinions. We have people in favor of it, but we also had people who were against the speech. But I think that the most important thing that we got from this speech is that, first of all, she was accepting a Life Achievement Award that Cecil B. DeMille, and I think it's really fair that she got there. Meryl Streep, for me, is the number one actress in the world. She's a very talented actress. Sometimes we have movies that are not that good, but when she's on the movie, wow, I have to see it. It's really good. So I'm sorry, Donald Trump, I have to say it, but she's not overrated. Not even close to that. I think maybe you are overrating your opinion. That's what I think. But I think the principal point of her speech is that she got a reaction from the president elected that showed us he's going to remain a candidate during all these years, because he's going to be the real president starting January 20th. That's next Friday. It's also called as next Friday, also known as next Friday. And he still presents, he still acts, he still has this attitude of a candidate, like he's angry at everyone. He presents himself as all the world against him. So I think this is not a very good atmosphere for a president. And if we think that this president is the president of the most powerful country, that's not good to anyone. That's why all the world is really worried about these years of Trump's term. And I can tell you that I really don't expect him to end his term. He clearly can't see how important, how formal this position is. And he seems that it's impossible to him to change his personality, to manage, to have a more, how can I say that, to have a more peaceful attitude to the rest of the people who don't like him. So it's going to be a tough term, I think, for everyone, not only him, not only his family, but all the society in the USA and, of course, all the world. And so I think Meryl Streep's speech was perfect in that point, because she showed he can change. He will be that guy, that bully, that candidate during all his term. And I think this is very bad to us. But talking about the movies again, we had this musical, La La Land, that really changed this atmosphere, I think. This movie is about, let me see here, the romantic and professional trade-off faced by two young players who want to, I believe they want to be successful. And this musical had a record at the Golden Globe Awards. This musical got 7 awards. All the nominations this musical had, it got. So it is something impressive. Of course, now everyone wants to watch this La La Land. But I have a friend that, who told me yesterday he went to see this movie, and he was in shock because he thought it was something. Of course, musical is like everybody's going to sing out of nothing. but he said that there was a moment of the movie that the leading actress, she had a pair of shoes, a pair of dancing shoes in her bag. Who does that? In the middle of nothing, she takes these shoes out and she starts dancing and singing. Okay, it's a musical. But the idea is that La La Land is going to take people back to reality this 2017, but with a little fantasy because it's all about singing and dancing. Of course, this is a new attempt to bring these kind of movies back because it seems no one likes musicals anymore. I have to say that I really loved, I think it's a decade from now, Mamma Mia, of course, with Meryl Streep. It was a very good musical. We don't feel that the singing is forced. You know, it seems like all ABBA songs, they were written specifically for that movie. So I really like that. If La La Land gets a little bit close to that, I'm sure I'm going to like it. But I have to check to see if it's really good. But it's impressive because La La Land was in only a few theaters in the USA, and it has taken more than $37 million so far. So with these Golden Globe Awards, I think these numbers, they are totally outdated. Maybe we have bigger numbers right now about La La Land. So maybe this trend of fantasy movies is going to be break from La La Land to other movies this year. Let's see, because that's the trend that we have. That's the tendency that we have in 2016. And as we expect a rough year this year too, especially because of Donald Trump's term that we know nothing about. We can only expect bad things to happen. So maybe people will still want to go to the movies to see fantasy, some fantasy, not reality. Reality is hard enough so far. Well, guys, that's it. If you are here in Natal, I invite you to go to Arena das Dunas tonight at 8 o'clock. We're going to have the opening game of our championship, our local championship, Rio Grande do Norte's championship here. And we're going to have two teams there. There is Santa Cruz and America. America is the one team that I support. And if you are not in Natal, but you are in Brazil, you can watch this game at 8 o'clock on EI Max, AE Max, that's the name of the channel here. They're going to show this live to all the country. And if you are not in Brazil, I'm sorry, you're not going to see this game that I'm really expecting to be good. It's the opening of our championship, so we have lots of expectations about this. But tomorrow we can check out all the things that happened to this game, all the expectations for the rest of the games we have this round at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you want to join this podcast in English, next Saturday at 8:30, I'll be back here. And if you want to join and try your Portuguese, you can join this podcast on Friday at 7 p.m. Okay? You all have a nice weekend, nice Saturday. It seems we're going to have some rain right now in Natal. Can you see? It's really crazy summer here. The temperature is really high early in the morning, but then we have some rain and then it gets hot again. That's the reality around here. So have a nice weekend, guys. See you there.